Hey, let's make games with Krita and Godot. Krita's free, Godot's free. They're open source, but they're really good. Krita is an alternative for Photoshop. Godot is an alternative to other game engines, but they're both excellent. Another alternative would be GIMP, but GIMP is older than Krita, and I think Krita has some nice indestructible features that are very good for game deving. So, anyway, we're going to open up Krita. Oh, I already have it open. It's right here. So you're going to hit New Image. This is what you're going to put in for your height, width, all that, and hit Create. This is going to be a nice big canvas for us to work on. If you've never used Krita before or any kind of photo editor, here's how it works. You got your, oh wait, you don't see this. Hold on. Let me go to Windows and give you your default setting. This is what you see when you open up Krita. It's got some stuff that's really useful, but we have it in other places. So we don't really need this. That's a color palette thing. We have it here. You just hit these little boxes here. The color at the top is the color that you're using. The color below it is like a backup. You can switch between them by hitting X. So if I have this orange color at the top, it's orange. If I have the white color, it's white, or whatever that is. So now I'll get rid of some other stuff here. We don't need these brushes here because they're right here. Lots of really cool brushes. This one's neat. Whoa, so cool. I'm going to stick with the normal one for now. And what else do we not need? We don't need this brush style. We only need these layers here. So the way layers work is whatever's on top is on top. It's easier if I just show you. So this is the background. The eye icon will make it disappear. If you see checkers here, that means there's nothing there. It's transparent. And then that's just a white default background. This is our first layer that we're going to paint over the background because it's on top of the background. If I get this brush here, I guess I have it as a pen, and I increase the size so you can see it. If I draw on it, I'm going to change that color. I'm going to go up here, click this, make it green. If I draw this here, there's a line. If I make another layer and I switch it to orange, you can see that orange is over the green. But what if I drag this down? Now the green is over the orange. See how that works? I can switch the order. And as you might imagine, that's very useful. Another cool tip is there's these locks here. This prevents movement, so I can have this selected or hit T, which would allow me, if these were not locked, it would allow me to move it. But if they're locked, I can't move it. I also can't move the layers anymore. If I try to, I just end up copying them. So that's useful in its own way. But we're just going to get rid of this for now. Today, we're just going to make a color palette. I'm going to try to do this kind of quick. We all got places to be, right? So for a color palette, let me just show you what I mean. Let me open up one of my sort of dead prototypes here, although I might resuscitate it. We'll see. Give it a second. There it is. So this is something I was working on. I might keep going. I don't know. I'm not sure if I love the colors, but here's the color palette I chose for this. And I'm going to teach you how to make this. This is something that you want in your game to select colors from. You can use the eyedropper here. You see how this is orange here? I can change it. Now it's a darker orange. I can click it again. Now it's this color. I can click it again. Now it's this color. So it's just always there for you to pick colors off of, like a paint swatch when you're painting. So it's nice to have that. You can turn it on or off at your convenience. So to make that, we are just going to go to a website. It's called Coolers, and this is not what it looks like. Let me show you what it looks like when you get there. So coolers.co. If we go to Tools, you can go to Explore Palettes, and we can find something cool. And straight off the bat, I really like this Ocean Sunset. I dig the vibe. So we're going to select this, and I really like this salmon kind of color here, so I'm going to select that. If you hover over a color you like, by the way, these colors, they're great because they obey color theory, and they're trending. So people like them. They're going to work well together. This is a great Great resource. Shout out to Thomas Brush for putting me onto this. In fact, shout out to Thomas Brush for this entire course. He taught me everything. I bought his course like 1,000 years ago now, and never got through it because I have the attention span of a fruit fly. But I still enjoy his content. It's very good. If you really want to see a master at work, you got to check that guy out. But he uses like Unity and Photoshop, so you got to pay a little bit to use those services. So I'm kind of giving you the free alternative. But anyway, back to business. So you select the color you like by clicking on that color code. You can see it automatically copies it to your clipboard. We go in here and we're going to get this rect tool. This is called a rect tool because you make a little rectangle. And if I oops, I almost did a bad thing. I got to make a new layer first. Make sure you have a blank paint layer. We can even call this our colors by double clicking it. You can name your layers, very convenient. And now we're going to make that little rectangle like that. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to paste in that code that we copied from the website, and it's going to automatically put it in there. Then I'm going to hit F for fill, and voila, there it is. There's our first color. It's probably going to be the sky there. And you see how there's still these they look like marching ants. That's called a selection mask, and it will persist even if I make a new layer. So now I still have this selected, which is going to be handy for us. We're going to go back here. We're going to choose our next color. So for next color, I really like this. Why not? Yeah, that'll look cool. So for our next color, we're just going to go in here and Control V and paste it in, and boom, there's the next color. We're going to do that one more time. And I'm going to grab this purple. Looks like a cool ground color. Excuse me. Don't mind that. That's my wife. She's playing Guild Wars 2. Best healer in the land. Alright, so anyway, we're going to get all of our colors, and then Control-Shift-A will deselect. And now we can either click this here, or we can just hit T on our keyboard, and this will allow us to start moving things. So now I have to choose what I want the sky, what I want to be the... It'd be really nice if there was a lighter blue. No. That's alright. Anyway, something's got to be our sky, something's got to be our midground, and something's got to be our foreground. So just to be kind of different, I'm going to go with this. I like challenging myself. I like picking colors that really shouldn't work together, or really shouldn't be there, like who sees a red sky. Because it's interesting, it's unique. That's why sunsets are cool, is because you look at it and you're like, wow, the sky looks like it's on fire. That's not normal, but that's why we think it's so cool. So if you're going to make a game, why not make it interesting? In other words, it's cool if you want to do a realism thing, like, green grass and your game crashed. Mine too. That's why I'm doing this tutorial. Hopefully. Good luck. Sorry, that was my wife. Anyway, yeah, just keep it interesting. If you want to do realism, but I like fantasy. So anyway, those are our main colors, and now we're gonna make a gradient. So I'm just going to make another box here as long as these three, and we're gonna go up here to gradients. Automatically it will have color fading to nothing as the default gradient, but we want color fading to a different color. So I'm going to hit edit, and we're going to need it to be a 3-part gradient. So the first one is we double click this node here, use this paint dropper tool. We're going to select that as our top color. If we click in the middle here, we're going to make a new node, double click it, we're going to get the middle color there. And the last node here, we'll double click that and we'll get that ground color, or that foreground color. Now we have, that is so pretty, I like that. Now we have a new color gradient. If I hit G or just click this here, I can then bring this down, but that's going to make a crooked gradient. That's not what I'm looking for. I want it to be straight. So I'm going to hit Shift so that it straightens up. And then I can just bring it there. And we have a really nice gradient. I actually really like that. It's better than my other gradient. I might stick with this. So then hit Control-Shift-A to get rid of that gradient, and you can just sort of, shape it up. Oops, I accidentally did a thing. I didn't make a new layer, did I? I didn't. All right. There we go. So Control-Shift-A to get rid of that, and now you can drag it around to that's where you want it to be. And I'm a stickler for detail, so this bothers me. So I'm going to hit Control-T to scale this. So it's about the same. Really doesn't matter, but all right. So now I have it as I want it. I hit Enter. I'm going to combine all these, Control-E. And those are going to be the main colors that we work with. But sometimes you want a foreground color that's like before where the player is. If the player character is right here, jumping on this sort of rusty background or ground here, this is a foreground. It's in front of the player. It's just like in real life. Something that's in front is going to appear darker and more saturated because it's closer to the eye, and your eye's not focusing on it, so it seems darker, right? So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make another gradient. So I'm just going to use the rect tool again. If I was smart, I would have never deselected that, but oh well. And I'm just going to go back to this rect tool. I'm going to hit Edit. I'm going to get rid of this middle color because I don't really need it. Just hit Delete. 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 Hello. Okay. Or I guess right click. Yeah. Whatever. All right, so then I double click this node here, and I'm going to choose this purple. Okay, and then for this color here, I'm going to choose black because I want something in between here. And now I'm just going to drag this down. Wait, what am I doing? G for gradient, or select this. And I'm going to drag that down. This will be our foreground gradient. Control-Shift-A, and actually, I didn't mean to do that. I keep doing this. I didn't mean to put that there. First, I want to make another layer. There we go. Control-Shift-A, and I might actually make this a little bit smaller because I'm not going to be really using it that much. And that's going to be, let's see, Control-T. Why can't I manipulate you? There we go. That was weird. Okay. Sure. And now we need a highlight color. So these are the main colors that our scene is going to be. This is going to be like the foreground where the player is walking. This is going to be the kind of the air around him, or maybe the underglow of a city, and this is going to be the sunset sky, and this is how they're all going to sort of blend together, at least in my mind. Now we need some highlight colors. These are like interactables, things that the player can find, and so there's only 2 colors left here. I'm just going to grab both of them. I'll decide how to use these later, but for now I'm going to make a new layer here, and I'm just going to make this like a side note for now. My way of just telling myself, not really sure how these are going to work yet. I'm going to make another layer with that same selection mask. And I'm going to grab the other spare color. I believe it was here. Or did I already do? Yeah, it's here. Yeah. Going to get that color. Fill it. Control-Shift-A, T, Shift, we'll drag it straight. R, move that over a bit. Shift you over 10. Okay, that looks good to me. You know me, I have to get it straight. And then I'm going to just select all of those, Control-E, so they're all one thing. And honestly, that color palette is way too big. It's going to be in the way, so I'm going to hit Control-T on all of it. And I'm going to scale it down. It kind of gets all cattywampus here if I don't hit shift. If I hit shift, it will scale uniformly, and that's a decent size there for me. And now, as I'm working, I can turn this on and off as I see fit if I want to get it out of the way or something. So anyway, that's it. That's the first step, and it's the most important step. You really want to make sure you like your colors, or you might end up with something rusty and dull like this, although I kind of like it. Maybe I'll keep working on this. I don't know. I guess you'll find out in the next video, right? So in our next video, we're going to take this and we're going to turn it into concept art. We're just going to make a bunch of blocks and put them together to make like a city skyline, or whatever. So stick around, come to the next video, but thanks for watching.